Hello there, and welcome back to TerraFirmaCraft HardRock. I hope you're having a wonderful day. I've just spent a few minutes, went through this, and sort of cleaned up a couple of the quests that we've done, but weren't logged. So for example, I've had the sifters. I've had them running for a while, but I never actually picked up the sifter and had it in my inventory. So this quest was never completed, which means the redstone dust was never completed, and nor were these little nuggets. Likewise, well, I did use the edit mode to autocomplete the greenhouse because this wants you to make a wooden greenhouse. I never build the wooden greenhouse. It's a waste of resources. You might as well just jump straight to the copper one, or preferably the iron or stainless steel one. I haven't done this yet, but I just go pick up any of our planters, or I'm going to be making more planters, and our water can to complete that. There was one or two other quests in here I completed, but you get the idea. I'm just going through completing all the little bitty ones. I do want to make the Farmer's Delight cook pot, and then we can actually make some of the Farmer's Delight food, which in addition to counting as a counting as a food item from Spice of Life to give us more hearts, which by the way, we got a next heart thanks to a slice of bread, of all things. But that'll give us, of course, food items, but they also have buffs. Comfort, it keeps you full longer, so your saturation won't decrease. And some of them actually give you other buffs too. But they also have TerraFirmaCraft Nutrition. Here, hot cocoa clears one harmful effect. Ooh, I wonder if that would clear the poison. Not poison. The zombie virus. Auto completed this one. Again, used edit mode because we already have the metal press, but I didn't have the two conveyor belts in my inventory at the same time, apparently. Completed the pressure chamber one, since I'm not tearing down the pressure chamber to complete it. But there we are. So we can, to continue on this, look to make a seismic survey tool, which will allow us to find crude oil deposits, and a sample miner, which will help us find core samples so we can mine using industrial engineering in addition to create. I don't know if I'm going to worry about that too much. What I do want to do is go out and look for a little uranium. I've seen some on the ground. If we can find a rich one, we will trigger the nuclear age, which will get us into mechanism stuff that we've already started. So I'm going to go look to do that while collecting more resources so we can make some more mechanical crafters and start working on a NASA workbench. And it was pointed out to me that I was pronouncing this incorrectly. It does happen. My brain just sort of autofilled. I saw the Stan, and my brain went Constantinople. But it's not going to say Constantinople, so it must be Constantine, named after Constantine. No, it's Constantan. Constantan. That sounds weird. Anyway, I was pronouncing it wrong. Now I know I'm still probably going to pronounce it wrong, but at least I'm aware that I'm doing it wrong, which I don't know if that makes it better or not. I was also advised that the Andesite Jetpack from Create Stuff in Additions is better than the Mechanism one. The Mechanism one is slower, but has no height limit, so it's good for cleaning up pollution. However, the Andesite one is faster and does offer armor, although we can make an armored version of this in the future. That's actually fairly cheap to armor up. I'm not sure which I'm going to go with. I was looking at the heat engine, I'm like, ooh, that's tough. And then I actually looked at it, I'm like, no, that's actually really cheap. The encased fans are the most expensive item on this, and that just requires a double raw ingot. So we need, 10 ingots of iron to make this? It's not that bad. Anyway, I still haven't decided if I might just make both. Who knows? I'm going to keep collecting resources. We have a lot to do. I have just about finished the new pressure reaction chamber. I just need to make some more tanks, which require red steel, and then I will have the production of the HTPE pellets automated. Oh, and a quick note. If you are looking to farm seeds to make seed oil, do some industrial hemp. You can, do it like a vanilla Minecraft farm, and you get quite a lot per harvest. Plus, you also get quite a lot of the industrial hemp fibers, which means you have access to burlap and a couple other useful things relatively cheap. And a little bit of an update on the HTTP production. So we put our water in here. The electrolytic separator pulls the hydrogen and pushes it into here, the pressurized reaction chamber, where we have the biofuel and it's producing substrate, and the ethylene. And the oxygen is being pushed out the back of this separator and going over to this one. The ethylene is then pushed over into here, where it is concentrated into liquid, which is then pushed into here, where we're making HTPE pellets. So the process is mostly automated. I do need to manually fill this with water. For now, I can run a water pipe eventually, and I do manually fill this with water. Again, I can set that up with water pipes in the future. Right now, manually works just fine. You know, I could probably pick that up and do that. Yep. Oh wow, that's actually eating through all the power in there. We should have plenty of power downstairs. Nope. We're out of power in there. Well, now I know I'm using up more power than I'm passively producing, running these. But these won't be running forever. Anyway, that's our little setup. It works perfectly fine for producing the HDT whatever pellets. And we get extra biofuel from processing down leaves. I can also run an item pipe to pull the substrate out of there and toss into here. And then export the pellets out of it. I haven't done that yet. I'm not worrying about it yet. That's a lower priority. We're going to do something a little bit different this time. How about a crafting montage? We got a bunch of stuff to craft up. And no, instead of you just watching me do it repeatedly, little montage. Makes it fun. The jetpack, for example. Oh, so much fun. Definitely make it as soon as you can. It's worth every resource you put into it. It makes your life so much easier. And also, we are making all the bits for the NASA workbench. I shouldn't say all. I made less than half of the bits we need for the workbench. The Constantan, the pressure chamber walls, the engineering blocks. We have a lot in store for the future. Of course, I'm doing this voiceover now after I've finished recording the rest of the episode, so I know what's in store for us. It's going to be a lot. Anyway, I think I've prattled on long enough. Let's get to the end of this and get back to actually playing. So I made the jetpack, and this thing, ow, is awesome. I've also installed lights so we can actually see. But yeah, this goes pretty quick. If you tap, what is it, control? You sprint while in the air. And if you're in the water, you go into swim mode and you press shift, you sort of like jet in the water. So this is the create add-on, I think. Let's check. Create stuff in additions. I thought it was more expensive. I think I said this already. But the heat engine is pretty easy. It just takes lava, and to make that easier, I went and got a small fueling tank. This was a fluid tank plus 4 sturdy sheets, and I just went into the nether. I filled it up. Filled up both the Andesite Jetpack, our portable drill, and our Andesite exoskeleton for good measure. So when we wear the exoskeleton, we have haste 2, Otherwise, we can fly. Okay, so I've been busy. This stuff you've all seen before. The Constantan sheet metal, made the same way as the steel and iron sheet metal. The pressure chamber walls we've done. The heavy engineering blocks we've done. The induction casing, it's a little bit different, but it was pretty easy. You would have seen that during the little montage I did, which I hope you liked. That was my first time trying one. Next, we need to make a bunch of these assembly IO bits, assembly IO units from PneumaticCraft. And I've never actually used these, but they're not that bad. And we're also going to need some of these raw processor bits. So I made up some of these processor bindings, which just is string, and I use latex in the pressure chamber. And so I have all the bits right here to make more. And then I made some of this because we need to make empty PCBs. We need to make these in order to make the finished PCBs eventually. And we're going to have to either assemble them or etch them. Etching acid is... How do I make etching acid? Gunpowder, molten plastic, rotten flesh, spreaderize. It's not too bad. So we can either make the etcher, the etching table, to make unassembled PCBs, or if it fails, we can then smelt them back into blank ones. Or we can make this, the assembly controller. We need an assembly laser program, which we can buy from the Amadron, which is a... it's like Amazon with drones in Minecraft. And then we have to finish it with some transistors and capacitors. The transistors and capacitors are cheap enough. If we want to do the assembler bit, we're going to need additional assembly platforms and units. Otherwise, we just need the 4 we need for... Oh no, we're going to need them anyway, because I need the full set to make this. So we might as well just go ahead and make these. It's going to take more plastic, a lot more compressed iron, and I need 12 more of these pneumatic cylinders since we have a bunch from the nether. So I'm going to get back to doing that. I did make up a bunch of quartz enriched iron. We can almost make all the bits except for all the cores and constructors. So that's my next task. I need to make 3 batches of this. So 9 gold, 6 redstone, and I think it was 3 plastic. Yep, and that all goes into here. And I can come back for that in a little bit. All right, so we need to make a few of these advanced processors, the raw version. And we're going to need to make a construction core eventually. That's going to require a raw basic capacitor. So if you notice, the difference between these is one requires iron dust, one requires gold, and the other requires diamond grit. You get diamond grit by either crushing a diamond through the crushing wheels, but it only produces 1 at a time. Or if you take the raw kimberlite from TerraFirmaCraft, you can crush them in the crushing wheels to get 2 and then 30% chance of 3, or 3 guaranteed and a 50% chance of a 4th diamond powder. You can then toss that diamond powder into your bulk washer to get grit. We need a couple bits of diamond grit. I should have some right here. All right. And we need to make these raw advanced processors. We need, for the crafters, 8. The fluid grid's going to need 1. That's 9. The regular grid does not need any. That's still 9. Okay, so we're going to need 9. We have 6. So we can take some of these rare diamonds, which are vanilla diamonds, and I got them by melting down the diamond horse armor and casting it using a jewel cast. So we toss these into here. We'll get... I'll make sure I didn't do some already. I did not. Get some diamond grit going. And then we toss 1 binding per, 1 redstone dust per, 1 silicon per. Now, before I mentioned I got silicon by sifting chalk and quartz gravel. There's another and much easier way to get it, though it is a little more expensive. If you combined coke dust with quartz dust, you'll get 1 silicon per the 2. You get quartz dust by crushing either nether quartz or quartz shards, which you can get from these black boulders that you see on the surface. So we tossed those in there. Those will start processing. Once that's done, we have to apply it to plastic along with electrum, redstone, and then the processor. So that'll take a moment, but that'll be pretty quick. That's what the plastic's for. I need to smelt down a bit more electrum. I've got that 1. And that's it. And I'm going to need 1 electrum for every 2. Meanwhile, I'm prepping all the bits here for what we need to make, well, all the bits. Oh, we need... I think we need 1 more for the controller. Alright, we're about ready to make the etching table. I did notice when I was looking at the assemblers and whatnot, you do need a PCB before you can even make them. So in order to make the PCBs using this method, you already have to have them. So we need to make the etching table. First, to make the etching table, I need a bit more glass. We need to make a small fluid tank. So that's 4 iron bars and 4 compressed iron. All right, and then the etching table is just that. So that's the etching table. Does not look like it needs compressed air. By the way, I made the pressure valve or the pressure tube for the pressure chamber, so I don't have to worry about accidentally putting too much fuel in here and overpressurizing the chamber, causing, well, the air compressor will explode in that case, not the actual chamber. Okay, so I just did a little checking. It looks like I'm going to need to make a UV light box first. And this requires a BCP blueprint, which again requires the Amadron. So we absolutely have to make this before we can really proceed any further. It's not expensive, thankfully. We need, that's 7 plastic plus a GPS tool, which is another 2 plastic, a diamond, piece of glass, and redstone. Nice and cheap. And a air canister, which is the most expensive item here. I'm going to need to make that. In the meantime, I can toss 2 rotten flesh, 2 spider eye, 2 gunpowder, and 1 bucket. And when that's done, this will produce us 1 bucket of etching acid, which we can put in here. All right, that's the air tank. GPS requires diamond, glass, which I'm going to need to wash, and more redstone. All right, that's the GPS. And then combine it all together to make this. Not enough pressure. How do I pressurize it? I assume charging station need more refined stone slabs. I'm gonna need to make a lot more compressed iron. Thankfully, so I did set up this one a while back. This is giving me a ton of limonite. I have no issue with getting iron. And then I moved this one here, which was getting hematite and I don't remember, probably more copper. And I moved it down here where I get gold, silver, and copper. So we're good on resources pretty much. It just, takes a minute running around to get everything. All right, so we got the charging station, which should mean we should now be able to charge our tablet here. Yes, so it's now charging. It is drawing charge from here to do it. And let's grab this. Grab one of the buckets of that. Toss that in there. There we go. Now we've got our, where we will in a moment. There we go. Etching acid, which we can put in there. Now, these have a 0% chance of being etched right now. I believe if I toss one in. Yeah, it looks like we can't even put it in yet. We need to first put it through the UV light box. However, this is not going to be the issue. This is. I need to make a redstone, well, 3 redstone lamps. All right, well, that requires a blackstone lamp, which requires a solar panel. So, yes, we've got a lot more to do before I can actually make that lamp and etch these. So those are going to have to wait, which means I can't do any of these yet, nor these. So let's see. Can I make at the very least these fusion frames before we're done today? We need atomic alloy, which requires enriched carbon, which requires an enrichment chamber, and more carbon. I'm running low on that. We need enriched obsidian, which means I'm going to need obsidian, which itself needs to be enriched in an infuser. So I need to make an infuser also. And then we need reinforced alloy, which is going to require more enriched carbon and enriched diamond. And then infused alloy. Okay. And then we need plutonium pellets. Water plus plutonium plus fluoride dust. We get the fluoride dust by just crushing fluoride. That's the easy part. Plutonium. I need nuclear waste, which means I need a fusion reactor. That doesn't sound right. How is it I need fusion reactor in order to make fusion? I see what I did wrong. I misread. I need to make fusion casings, a fusion reactor frame, using polonium. I was saying plutonium. You get the polonium by using the solar neutron activator on nuclear waste, which is radioactive, releases 10 millisieverts there of radiation. So I would need a radiation suit to be around it. But you get nuclear waste in a fission reactor. So we need to build a fission reactor in order to get the nuclear waste, in order to make the fusion casing. Fission is splitting, fusion is combining. We need to make a fusion reactor from Mechanisms. Mechanisms fusion reactor, which, well, I did make 4 of those a few minutes ago for the first part of this. I think it was the fusion frames. No, those are induction casings. Not even that. The problem is last time I did reactors with Mechanism, I ended up quitting the mod pack shortly thereafter because editing down the process of making a reactor in Mechanism was a 5-hour ordeal that I had 5 hours of footage. I just gave up. I ended up giving up on the series. So, well, I do have to make the reactor because that's the only way to advance. So we're going to need to make, how big does the reactor have to be? I think the smallest size is a 5 by 5 by 5. That would require frame blocks, and you can use the fission glass works too. Do we have? Does this book have mechanism in it? I forget. No. I could have sworn there was a guidebook. I can't find it right now. But in short, we need to build a reactor. So we need a area, say 5x5, where we have it framed, the corners with the fusion reactor casings. We can then use reactor glass for the inside, very similar to this here. And then we need to put control rods spaced apart like that. So if we're doing a 5x5, we would need 5 control rods. We'd put a fluid in the open spots. You can use water. There are other things that are more efficient. And then we need fusion fuel or fissile fuel for those control rods. And we would need imports and outputs, and we need to cover the top, I think, with the assembly to make it work. That's going to be a chore and a half. So we're going to need that. And then we also need to make a turbine rotor, turbine blades, and a turbine housing, so that the steam produced by the fission reactor, yes, will go in, turn the turbines, and produce the power we need. So I literally just made a diesel generator and we're already trying to make nuclear energy. I need to go get uranium. I said at the beginning of the episode, I still haven't done it. I need to go over to roughly here. No, further. Here. Uranium somewhere over here. That's almost 2,000 blocks away. I have not found any uranium closer. I might be able to find some closer with the immersive engineering core drill. Yay! Nuclear reactors. I mean, nuclear energy is fun, and it's really cool how our most advanced form of power generation is just steam, but a different way of getting the steam. And I was saying this, the solar generators, the solar panels, these aren't all that difficult. I mean, okay, so osmium ingots, I need 9 plus 2, so 11. And then the infused alloy, and I need infused alloy here. These are not very expensive. I can do these right now. Well, okay, I can't do them right now. I need to go grab a few more resources, but they're very, very easy to do. I can actually get it done quite quickly. So this box is less of an issue than I thought it was going to be at first glance. We do need this PCB blueprint, which means we need the tablet, which is right here, and we need 8 emeralds. We can sell stuff for emeralds. Black wool. I do not have wool. I can sell flint. I literally just threw away flint because I had too much flint. You can't see anything right now. Don't worry, there's nothing much to see. It's just my inventory system. Okay, we need to make a chest that will serve as a drop-off point. This will do for now. Right, it is shift-click. Right-click an inventory tank with the tablet. Pick up and drop off. So yeah. So this is... I go to this. I say, hey... Oh. Wait. I think it's got different stuff now. 2, 3, 4... how much did I have? 8, 10, 12, 14... I can do at least 23. No. Okay, I can only buy 12. So I can do that to get 12 emeralds. Can I then do one of... No, because I don't have enough emeralds. Okay. So, place order. That should take these. Oh. Drone popped out of nowhere and took my flint, and another one is coming in. Oh, wait, I can. There we go. Gave me my 12 emeralds. Awesome. So we can do this and buy that. And another drone will come in, take our emeralds, and give us... It's stuck on my... It's stuck on my hopper. That took our emeralds, and another one will come in and give us the blueprint. All right. Hey, that's awesome. And that does eat through quite a bit of its pressure. So I'm going to go pop that back in there and grab another one of these to charge up my station some more. So there we go. Now we have the blueprint. So there were other things on there that we can get. And it looks like it changes over time. I could have sworn... Oh, no, some of this is the same. Oh, I could buy treated wood. I mean, I don't need treated wood per se. I have more creosote than I can possibly ever use. I've been using it as fuel. Compressed iron. Block of compressed iron. Can I break that down? All right, can I reverse it? Like, I can melt it into raw iron. That's an awesome way to get a bunch of iron. Does cost a lot of emeralds, though. Okay, I gotta remember that. Because that's a good way to get a lot of iron quick. I mean, a lot of emeralds. It's 8 emeralds. It's not that bad. Could also sell lubricant. No, I'd buy lubricant. I could sell lubricant, crude oil, diesel. I don't have crude oil or diesel production yet. What's the difference between these? Assembly controller, platform, IO units, and drill. Controller, platform, IO units, drill, and laser. So you would want this. It's almost double the price, but you're only buying one. Okay, well, that's the tablet. Now we've got our blueprint that we can use to make the LV box as soon as I make the redstone lamps. I'm going to get to that, but that is going to have to wait till next episode. Or at least you'll see it next episode. Until then, thank you for joining me today. I hope you've had a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. Later.